know the knock on you is, oh, he's a football player, he's rough and rugged in there. That's what they like to say about you. But at the end of the day, number one, I think your technical skills are very underrated. But number two, when you were an amateur, you were beating all these guys, and not just. I mean, I'm not just talking about scrap. I mean, you beat Usyk, who. I know he's a cruiserweight.
The radar forever.
Really?
That just kind of came to light, like in the last year or something like that.
That's because he's doing stuff like in the last year. So obviously they attach the names. But even if you watch him fight, he's a very technical fighter.
When I fought him, he was really, really technical. It really did. We'll go back real quick. When I fought him, I remember the fight being really technical. I remember he was a southpaw, and I remember every round was close. And this was back in the day when we were actually getting points per punch we land.
Right.
And so the fight was really, really close. And I don't remember what the margin was, if I was winning or losing. I just remember, I don't remember who else was in the corner, but they said, I think it might have been Dan Campbell. So he said, you got to step in and catch him with the lead right hand, and you got to kind of close this round out. It's the last round. And I caught him with a good right hand and actually buckled him a little bit.
Oh, wow.
And after I buckled him a little bit, I took control, and I had to fight from there on. But that was just, that was a fight where it was technical the whole way until, that's how boxing is. One punch.
Yeah.
And you gotta have a game plan, and you gotta be ready for it. And I think the same goes with Danny Garcia. I think that he may think that when he watches me, he does not understand what I do or what I'm capable of. I think he sees it, but he doesn't really know. They get a lot of training partners that come in all the time and they're like, man, I knew you could box, but I didn't know. I knew you were fast, but I didn't know. I knew you were quick, but I didn't know. And it's just a matter of time before you get in the ring and you really experience what it is like to be in the ring with me. It's not easy. So when he says he thinks I'm tailor-made for him, he may watch and say, oh, well, when he comes in, I'm just going to throw this, game over.
Right.
There's a lot that goes into play with me coming in, because to the naked eye, I may be aggressive, I may be relentless, I may be coming, tenacity, come. But it's really calculated. It really is. And like you said, I'm a little bit more technical than most people even know, and you'll see that in this fight.
But that's what, it just kind of blows my mind that people don't look at you like that, especially knowing your background, knowing your amateur career, knowing the names of the people that you have beaten. I mean, these are not.
I have to point at myself, because there are points in every fight that a majority of the fights that I've had where, the technical stuff goes out the door, and I got guys on the ropes and I'm smothering myself and so on and so forth. We hear what people say, but we don't. I don't allow it to define me. I'm not allowing people to say, oh yeah, he's rough and he's not a technical fighter, and me go to why would I go to the gym and not work on my jab just because you don't think I don't have a jab, know? So a big part of that is me. But guess what? These guys I'm in the ring with, they can't really handle it. And they can't handle it for 12 rounds. And that's why it gets to the point where it gets rough, it gets relentless, and it's just as rough on your mind as it is your body, So it's boxing is, we talk about it being a business and being a serious sport and all that, but you got to play the game as well. There's more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to beat a guy. You got two hands, obviously. There's two ways to beat him. But you got also this, and you got this. You got all the intangibles. When you have them, you got to use them all. So when you see me in the ring with guys, they can't handle it, and I'm on them, and you think, oh, he's got to take it back. He got to take a step back. First time I take that step back is the first time that guy thinks, oh, he's giving me breathing room, he's tired, or he's not coming on me, or I hit him, or something like that, So it's just as much a mental game for me sometimes when I get rough as it is, part of the physicality of the game as well.
It's a little bit of a throwback, too. It's like being a throwback fighter who's...
I watch the old stuff because people always say that about me, and when I watch it, I'm just like, it's a throwback, but it's definitely got a new flavor to it. The throwback fighters, they took a lot of punches, they took a lot of shots. My boxing skills and abilities revolve around being responsible on defense and things of that nature. So we're cleaning it up. That's what we're supposed to do. That's what the camp is for. And come to the ring on Saturday on the 8th, and you'll see it all play out.
How much of people thinking that about you? How much of that do you think is just perception because of the media, because of writers saying certain things? Because I'll give you an example. Like when I see you out there working, just even today, when you were working the mitts and everything. I mean, your footwork. If you were Manny Pacquiao, they'd be, you know, awing over your
I
footwork.
heard, I heard Teddy Atlas. Shout out to Teddy. So you know, I heard Teddy talking about how great Lomachenko's feet are. They're great.
Right.
But there's a lot of other fighters out there that you don't say that about. And you know, we'll go back. You know, not many people do what Lomachenko can do. He can really get around guys. He can really pivot on guys. He can really, you know, flash and go, flash and go. You know, he's an excellent fighter and also with his feet as well. But if you take a look at somebody who's on that level, like myself, and I do have really good feet.
You
really
do
good
a lot of
footwork.
similar stuff.
A lot of similar stuff, but you don't hear, you know, someone like Teddy Atlas speaking about it, or someone else in the media speaking about it. And you know, some things do fly under the radar because some other things are bigger. You know, the fight with Andre Berto, you know, that whole fight, you talk about how many headbutts there were and how ugly the fight was, but you forget that, you know, when I knocked him down with the first punch, it was a right hand, and it was a clean right hand that knocked him down. You know, when I took him out, those were clean shots to the head that took him out. But it all kind of gets, you know, buried underneath, you know, the other part of the fight. You know, so that's for me is key for this fight. For me, it's key in this fight to, you know, give somebody else something else to talk about. Give them something else to talk about.
Is that something that you think about that kind of plays on your mind? Like does it impact your fighting?
It doesn't. It's not going to impact my fighting. That's the great part about it. The great part about it is there's skills, there's things that I can do that I know I get away from during the fight. And I'm telling myself every day, don't need to rush. Don't do it, you know. So I'm on my head just as much, you know, so that it doesn't change the way I fight, but it does change the way the fight plays out.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, totally.